So I am here with Ted Balfour, CEO of Nyedis, and this is your third day of the convention. This is my second day of the convention.
Correct. Yep.
So what do you think so far? I know you've been to Identiverse before, so.
Yeah, I think this is probably my sixth Identiverse event, and I think it's growing. It's progressing a lot. Through the 3 days, I've had a great opportunity, networking opportunity, both with clients, potential clients, partners, and potential partners, vendors, and things along those lines. So it's been very fruitful so far.
Yeah, I think the coolest thing that we got to do as a company, you, Adam, myself, meet with Ping, and they seem to be really impressed with what Nyedis is doing and what you guys have planned for the future.
Yeah, we've been Ping partners pretty much from the beginning, and that's evolving. We keep stepping it up more and more, and we're working with some future state tech, kind of in alignment with what they're doing with their Neo offering. And we're also very well versed in all their other technology. So yeah, we're pretty excited about the partnership.
Yeah, and I was going to say, looking at the convention and speaking of vendors, all stuff that we recorded, Passwordless to me was something completely new when I started working here with you guys, and now I see there's so much competition in this space and so many new innovations in passwordless solutions. What do you think, meeting with, or just seeing the different vendors who are working with that?
I think everybody's scrambling with passwordless. It's a great solution. It really increases your security. And I think really it's going to come down to the flexibility of the passwordless solutions, the ease for the clients to use it. So basically, the user experience has to be solid, but I also feel that they need to be adhering to a lot of the standards, and there needs to be levels of flexibility. So some work situations or use cases may not be well aligned for passwordless, so the passwordless vendors may have to have extra capabilities for some of these kind of outlying use cases. Okay.
So this is more of a technical question that you could answer, but I at least know enough to, I guess, ask the question. Is people will see the video when I met with Double Secret Octopus. That's the name of the company. They have a passwordless solution, but they told me they're not using PAM. I know that Nyedis, for our tier solution, we are using PAM. So could you go
into PAM?
Yeah.
Okay.
Could you go into that a little bit?
Yeah, I don't think privileged account management is absolutely required for passwordless. I think that's kind of another technology. You can leverage passwordless for it, but a lot of the PAM solutions are using MFA today too. So I think it's just an option of how you want to do it. Now, administering your passwordless solution, of course I would set that up with PAM level access, for privileged accounts. So you're controlling who can manage and control those passwords, the policies, things associated with it.
Were there any vendors in particular that stood out to you that are doing something innovative?
On the passwordless side and along the lines of identity verification, I think OneCosmos is really up in their game, and they're starting to get a lot more attention than they've had. So I'm pretty excited about what they're doing. I think Ping is going down the right path with Neo and their DaVinci solution. So yeah, those are two that stand out to me. But then again, maybe I'm a little biased because I've worked with these companies for a while.
Sure.
But there are a lot of advancements across the board, and one of my objectives today is certainly to go out and talk to more vendors and find out how they're evolving. So I think what I'm seeing a little bit more of now is people leveraging blockchain technology, but it still hasn't pushed that hard in the identity space. I suspect over the next year or two, coming to these conferences, it's going to be a whole different story.
And I was going to ask you too, you said this is your 8th Identiverse?
I've lost count. It's somewhere between 6 and 8.
Okay, so is this the most well attended that you've seen?
I think so. It's been in different venues. So last year it was out in Colorado. It's been in Washington. It's been in New York. It's been in a few different places. Pre-COVID, I think the Identiverse in DC had a very good showing. Post-COVID, I think things kind of slowed down a bit, but this seems to be, the most attendance I've seen kind of post-COVID, absolutely.
Yeah, and I still think there's an advantage to going out and meeting people in person and not just being an online presence. So I like going out to conventions like these and meeting with people. I mean, how do you compare and contrast the first Identiverse you were at to this?
Well, first of all, there's a lot more vendors and there's a lot more products. So the entire event itself has grown exponentially. It started out and it was a Ping event and some of the Ping partners were there and a couple other vendors, but Ping has grown it out extensively, and it's really turned into a whole industry show, not just a Ping show. And Ping has sold it off to a company that manages these types of things. But in the time that Ping owned it and the way they've evolved it has been incredible. And the fact that before at the early stages you wouldn't see Ping competitors at these events. Now it's industry wide, and it's becoming really one of the primary go-to events for identity and access management.
Yeah, well, one thing I should point out, and you're not going to say this, but I'll say it walking around this convention with you, it is very apparent that you have a wealth of experience in this industry, because I've seen over these past couple of days a lot of people shouting out, "Hey Ted," and people who've known you from 10 years ago, 15 years ago, who have worked with you in some capacity.
Yeah, I've been doing this for 22 plus years. I was at the early stages on the provisioning side. I started with a company called Access 360 that was purchased by IBM Tivoli, and it evolved from there. In the 22 years, I've worked for a few consulting firms. I've worked on the vendor side. I've been a client of identity and access management. So I've really seen the business from all angles, from the product development side to the purchasing of product side, to building out teams for clients, to going in and providing turnkey solutions to clients. So yeah, it's and through that journey, you tend to meet a lot of people, and when you come to these kinds of events, you run into people that are in the industry that you've met, worked with, collaborated with over the years. So yeah, that's kind of where the network comes from when you come to these events. And as I said at the beginning of this, the networking opportunity here is outstanding.
Yeah, and you see how much identity management has changed just speaking with these people who knew you from 2 decades ago and hearing those conversations. Anything else that you want to say about this event or about what we're up to at Nyedis before I wrap this up?
What I can say about this event is, like I said, it continues to evolve. I think where it goes in the future is going to be extremely interesting when we talk about future technologies like blockchain, like AI. How is AI going to impact identity and access management as a whole moving forward? I'm pretty sure there's some serious impact coming down the pike. And the shows like this, the content will change based on that, obviously, because vendors are going to scramble to take advantage of that technology where they can. So from that perspective, that's where I think it's going. From what we're doing is, in these unsure economic times, we go through kind of peaks and valleys, but it's this year has not been the best year financially across the globe. And what we've seen is a lot of clients have an excessive amount of identity and access management software. So one of the things we're excited about, and we've been working with the clients on this extensively, is helping them look at their environment, understand where there's redundancy, unnecessary redundancy, where they're oversubscribed to services, they aren't leveraging their cloud services at a level they could. So there's a lot of excess spend that, as we're working with them in this advisory capacity, we're helping them save hundreds upon hundreds of thousands of dollars. And we're pretty excited about that. And also in that process, we're helping them reshape their identity to kind of the newer tech. So, it's a win-win, because it's a reduction in cost, increase in functionality, increase in security. So, while the economic times aren't the greatest, these kinds of situations are really very opportunity rich for clients and for vendors like ourselves that are very interested in helping our clients save money.
Excellent. All right. Well, glad that we got this on cam. And people in the podcast have been enjoying seeing the interview with you, the full interview that you did. And I'm sure we're going to do more in the future.
Great. Thanks, Ian.
Cool.